Kia ora, I'm Johnboy,
And I'm Cows.
and today we are doing the recap for the Taupō Collectibles Event 2025.
I can't even start. It was such a massive day.
Yep. So this year the event was at the Taupō Great Lakes Centre on Story Road, right in the heart of Taupō there.
Right in the heart. So we, early start, I think I was at Johnboy's by about 5 in the morning. Yeah, prepping stuff, trying to get the vehicle ready. We picked up Bo from the Bot Brothers. Yep.
Shout out the Bot Brothers.
Hard out. And then we travelled all the way from Auckland, started at West Auckland and then headed down to Taupō at an ungodly hour.
Yeah, which was a 3.5-ish hour trip.
Yeah. But we were really lucky that we sort of pre-organised catching up with people. So there was Joseph from Tauranga who we caught up and had breakfast with across the way from the place. The weather was pretty good on the way down, but when we got there it was starting to play up.
Yeah. But that added to the mood.
The ambience. So by the time sort of 9:45 had rocked in, we'd eaten, we were ready to, get in line, and then
we stopped at the Body Fuel Cafe.
Oh, it was the Body Fuel, yeah. So that was really nice. Big energy feed before trying to fight people for toys. But
a scramble happened.
Yeah. When it started raining, people were out in the rain holding their umbrellas, waiting to get in.
Yeah.
That couldn't be us. We were in the library watching the line get longer. But 10 o'clock, or even just before 10, they started letting everyone in, and we were in there. So between us, I think there was me, you, Bo, and Joseph, and I think we were together for a total of about 30 seconds before we just all pivoted off.
I think it was lucky we made it that far. As soon as we were in the door, pretty much.
Yeah, we just went 4 different directions and started having a look around. So, sort of in the lobby area, you had I think it was Symbiote Collectibles. I think they were the ones that had all the Funko Pops, which were great.
Massive collection.
Like a massive stall full of them. So that was, I didn't pop in there, to be quite honest. I did go up and see R&N Collectibles. So that was John, who I'd met at Arkham Comics last week.
Yep.
He had a really cool lot of sort of marble and loose marble collection. So that was quite cool to look through. Had a bit of a breeze through there. Where did you go?
Well, Dum me forgot my GoPro when we went in, so that's what I did first. I went back out to get my camera.
Oh, so while all of this is happening, so we did go 4 directions. You went back out.
Oh, we went back out.
Okay, so so I went and hit up a few places. Matt Bonkham was there, who he was up in the top in the lobby area, and he had some muscle, like carded muscle toys, which are really cool. So they were sitting around. I think he probably had about 4 packets of those. Kyle, go away. You start it again.
Oh, we just edit that for that.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Carded muscles? Oh, is that what you said?
Yeah, carded muscles. They were muscle toys. So they were like little cards like this with about 4 little teeny weeny rubber dudes. And I've never seen them carded. Right. I've never seen them, like I've never bothered to collect them or anything, but I know that other people have wanted them and have brought them, but today was not the day for me.
Right.
But once you hit the main room, that's when it went off.
With all the chandeliers hanging as well.
I never saw the chandelier. So anyway, there was a photo that went out public this afternoon on Facebook, and it had these chandeliers. No one was looking up, so everybody had eyes down. I think the first table I had, we looked at that Thunder Tank.
Yeah, right inside the door. Yeah,
right inside the door, and they had some LJN wrestlers, which were quite cool. The tables and the setting of how they were felt like they had lots of space, both for the store holders and for the people walking around. And it was up until maybe the first hour. Then after it became really difficult to walk against the grain and stuff.
Yeah, because the flow was naturally to gravitate left.
Yep.
And so everybody was ending up that way. So if you were doing the loops and you'd already done that part, when you went to come back around, she was chocker in there. So.
Yeah. So I always like to do a quick lap. Like at that point, I had the GoPro in my hand, hadn't turned it on, hadn't done nothing. Like don't worry about taking any recordings. I was looking for toys. I think by the time I had done my first lap, I'd lost Johnboy, Joseph, and Bo. I'd run into Ben Harrington, who is a local at the retro event, and so he had a table of stuff. Brad, who does the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, he had a massive collection there as well.
Yeah, quite a few bins there, didn't he?
Yeah, bins, and they're all standing upright, and so he had some really massive bins of turtles. Yeah. It was a really nice selection of everything. So I think my first purchase, because I think that there's an older couple who I met probably about 20 minutes into it, who had brought retro stuff, not toys, not pop culture stuff. And so I kind of rocked up to them and I was admiring a bag that they had, which was the NAC.
Yeah, they had a lot of cool, like you say, retro stuff. Nothing to do with toys at all. No,
they saw Taupō Collectibles, and they brought vintage collectibles. Like there was jewelry, there was wine glasses, like hollow stem wine glasses, and what caught my eye on theirs was a lovely old school national airline carrier bag, which was just gorgeous. And then my first purchase was at theirs, which was the 1990 Commonwealth Games in New Zealand cups. So my first purchase, I like to do a lap and not buy anything, so I can eyeball what it is that I think that I should spend my money on. But that was a quick $5, and
because I think their stuff stood out because it was what it was.
Yeah.
And nobody else had anything like that.
Surprisingly, nobody had a lot of anything of anybody had. Like there was a massive...
Yeah. There wasn't any like double ups as such. Like in a massive way, at least anyway.
Yeah. Like, so you had a lot of modern and a lot of retro. I think the way they named the event as well, being the Taupō Collectibles, it wasn't based on an age bracket. It was based on what people would spend their money on any given day.
Yeah, and I think the name indicates that, it shouldn't be specifically toys or whatever.
Yeah. So there were a couple of people that did retro stuff. I did see a 170 Crownland Swan, which was a big female one, and a small baby swan, which I was really pleased to see, but also could not afford. They were, and she also had like wombles and some vintage, like an elf maybe, and then like she had like old school, not plushies, but old school soft toys.
Some Cabbage Patch.
I did no Cabbage Patch.
Cabbage Patch,
yeah. So we ran into our friends Keith and Natasha. So Movie World were there, and they had their setup.
Sup, Movie World?
Yeah, and so that was really good to see them. We haven't seen them since Retro 5, I think. So they're long friends. They're probably the ones that got me into sort of hitting the markets and the conventions and stuff like that to sell wares. So it was great to see them. Whirianga Comics and Arkham Comics were there. Went and said hello to both of them.
It's quite, I want to say, when you see the comics like they are, and they're all bagged. Yeah.
like vinyl ages.
You see like the people who are like really into it, they're just there, yeah, like just scanning through the bins and trying to, I guess, out shop others.
Get in there first, find the ones that they need, and get it before anyone else does. Yeah.
They're in there for the hunt.
Yeah, there were a couple of 3D printer guys. Like I've never been too big on the 3D printers, printing stores. There's nothing generally there that I would be after, but they had like some cool helmets. Like they had
those were
the Lady Thor
really
helmets.
elaborate, right?
Yeah.
She had a mighty Thor. And the big dragon headpiece. That thing was...
That dragon headpiece, like I was trying to convince him, but that was I was like, that would look great. 400, yeah.
Which was, I'm sure that's worth it, but again, it's...
I would have to try it on, like I would, and it would probably get stuck. And, like I'd get it. I have to buy it now. Yeah. I'd get it wrong. I didn't even touch it. But it was good because as we said, we'd met up with a lot of people. So Pete from Tauranga, we met up with him. He had his family with him. I had a Hot Wheels carry case for him from 45 years ago, he reckons.
Really? That thing was...
He messaged everyone and said it was 45 years old. I was like, what's it? That was a lazy tenner. We ran into Dizzle. Dizzle was there in all his glory, and Rams, of course. So he was there with his wife. Like every couple of steps we were running into people we knew or who knew us. Yep. So it was
Mike and Kendra.
Oh, Mike, Mike Christian. I probably should throw out his last name. Mike from out Cambridge Way. There were Carlisle. Because I brought some Avatar figurines off him a couple of weeks ago, and we decided to catch up at Taupō. I think the best thing was that it was such a central spot that people were coming from all over the place. So I think Carlisle came from Tikawiti.
The locale definitely lent to being able to get everybody into one place.
Easy access, It was pumping. We were quite lucky to meet Sam Westlake at the door. Yeah. So he was there, and as we're walking past, he kind of gave us a yell and was like, "Oh, Kelly," and I was like, "Hey, Sam." Shook hands, and he was like, "Oh, I've been told to keep an eye out for you guys." And I was like, "What, to check our pockets?" Or, but Errol had said that we were heading down and that, to have a chat to us, so that was quite good meeting and sort of talking about. It was a great event. There were young and old. There were and I mean old, like we're mid-old, but there were older people there, and I ran into them. I was like, "Oh, sorry, sir."
And then like, you would have thought that most of those older generation were from Taupō, but a lot of them had come from like...
They travelled. Yeah. Wellington. Yeah. They were from all over the place. So I don't know that I met anyone from Taupō that was there. But because it was so central, and because even the people that were working the stalls were from all over the place. So Jay Bardell was there, who is a big mover and groover on the New Zealand action figure page on Facebook. It was good to see him, just because he's so outgoing on the pages. So I saw him at Whanganui.
Oh yeah.
So that made it a lot easier to say, "Oh, you're Jay, I'm Kelly, I brought something off you." And then I think there was Damien, who was the troll collector. I think he was from Nelson. He knows Craig. Yeah. And so I stopped and had a conversation with him because we'd sort of weirdly got into a conversation with him in Whanganui about collecting trolls and the New Zealand action figure page and stuff like that. So, as far as the toys, I mean, what? I'm not going to show the toys off, but I did manage to get them out of the car.
Well, you mentioned your first purchase, right? So.
Yeah. So those are my cufflinks. Yeah. There was a lovely lady, I don't know her name, and I should have really met her a bit better, but I ended up getting Thundercats and a Master of the Universe Master reels. Yep. So I bought those, and some Land Shark
decals.
Yeah. For the original, so I bought those from her. Actually, I brought the Wuzzles book as well. Yeah. So I got those from her. the avatars. I got 3 avatars from Carlisle. That's how I had met him. So I made a purchase, and then we were like, "Oh, we'll be in Taupō. Let's catch up, and I can drop them off to you." My big purchase though. So Thundercats there was 4 pieces of the Thundercats Super 7 series that I avoided for hours. I saw it, I looked at it, I touch it, I walk away. It was like if I was going to spend that, I wasn't going to have any more money left.
Yeah.
So
it was a bit of wheeling and dealing.
Yeah. Like we kind of I'd had enough. My dogs were barking, my feet were sore, and I was like, okay, we're not too far away from leaving. So I went up and I was like, well, what kind of deal can you do for all 4? And got a massive cut, and I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
So we purchased that. In that same breath, I'd managed to reach out to Habit Collectibles to see if he had any in his store to be able to sell, and so I managed to get another 2. So I think next week I'll have 6 of them, and I'm going to unbox those bad boys.
Yeah,
they're really cool. I can't think of what else I got. I think that was about it.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
But we must have finished up there about by 12:30. I was telling everyone I've had enough.
Yeah, so that was a good couple of hours and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then because it was probably more social, we kept running into people as we're going around doing laps in different directions and stuff. Between Joseph, Bo, myself, and Johnboy, we'd pass, wave, you're right, cool, keep going. So I think by the time 12:30 came along, we got half an hour, and then I've had enough. So then we just started saying goodbye to everybody.
I think one of the biggest takeaways I had about the day was the community and the support for events like that, especially in a place, even because it is so central and it is easy to get to.
Yeah.
I do a lot of things that could have made it not as good as it was. Like the weather probably should have played more of a part, but it didn't. People weren't deterred by that.
No.
And I think because it meant that, I'm not sure what other events might have been on in the area or happening over the weekend, but it just showed how much support that community pulls together to be able to, the collectibles community, to be able to pull off an event and have it as popular as it was.
Yeah, for a maiden event, so Sam Westlake runs the Taranaki Collectibles as well, and so this is his first event. His marketing on Facebook or otherwise, his ability to be able to get others to freely advertise it in their local areas and stuff like that. Like a lot of us were making plans to meet up there to be able to be social for the first time in a while. Like I haven't seen Joseph in a year or something like that. Like it's don't get me wrong, by 1 o'clock my social media was done. Like there was a lot of people, and not necessarily a lot of people we couldn't walk around. It was packed. It was just probably the biggest event that I've been to where we had already pre-discussed that we were going to this, that we were expecting other people to turn up, that we knew that we were toy swapping. Yeah. Like everyone had kind of bags of stuff to hand out to other people that were turning up, so that we didn't have to pay for postage because we just happened to be in the same place at once. So I don't know, like I got to the car to drop off my stuff and I didn't realise that Bo was putting shit into the van as he was buying and shopping. So when I get into the van, he's just got
half the back seat was all full.
Bro, Unicron head, that's what he said, eh?
Yeah.
And then he had all these, like a box, and he just had all these other things. I was like, what are you up to? Like, he was just ninjaing back to the van and filling it. So, I think overall we all did really well. I spent lots of money, but that's more because I've got one more day of work and this is my celebration. So yeah, I made it rain. At least for me.
Yeah, definitely. I know by the time we had left, there was another couple
2
of hours to go.
Yeah, they were closing up at 3.
Those tables were looking, like they had been used over often, and people were buying stuff up, which is really good to see for all those vendors there.
Yeah. And I think for the first hour as well, or maybe hour or two, as people were picking stuff up and buying it, they had stuff, like the store holders had stuff to replace and replenish. So every time you went past a new table, the same table, there was new stuff. And so you had to start again, which was quite, not frustrating, it was exciting because you could do 7 laps and there was always new stuff coming out. So by 1 o'clock, we said goodbye to Sam, thanked him very much for a very lovely afternoon.
Yep.
You know, he was quite keen to see us at the Taranaki.
He was very appreciative of the support from too, right?
Yeah, and he did. It was like handshakes for everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Da 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 da. But again, like Whirianga Comics has been to quite a few retros, so like he recognised us and we said hello. Mr. J from Arkham, you know, I go to his little toy fest, his toy things that he has at his. He's the one that gave me that. He gave me my.
Oh yes, yep. Boondocks,
yeah, my Boondock Saints poster. But it was just socially a really nice event. We all walked away with something. There were deals to be had by everyone if you hit the right people up, and everyone was actually what I really enjoyed was everyone was open to negotiation.
Yeah.
So when I found 2 carded dinosaurs, I did go, you know, would you do this for these? And he was just like, yeah, sure, because I guess either one, he recognised us from the retro, or most likely because he had more stock to bring out, and you know, like he was wheeling and dealing, so it was quite good. We did go to the pub afterwards.
Yeah. What was that called?
The Common Tap Room.
The Common Tap Room. Yeah.
So, because we don't often see a lot of the people that were there, we kind of send a text out going, "Oh, we're going to have a quick beer before we head back home."
And that was nice, right? And there was the 6 of us.
Yeah, 6 of us. So me, you, Bo, Yosef, Mike and his wife Kendra. Yeah, and that was just, you know, just a quick shit talk.
Yeah.
Just bit
of a wind down.
Yeah, because at that point it was like adrenaline and, you know, money was burning holes in pockets and stuff like that. So it was quite nice to stop and not have any plastic crap around and be able to, how are you? How's your family? You know, how's life and stuff like that. So that was quite cool. By 2:15, we were back on the road.
Yeah, yep. And again, it was pretty straightforward. I think that's also part of the, like how you had in the time-lapse videos, and you're doing the trip. When you do the driving itself, it's again more about the what you're doing rather than the driving itself, because the drive just felt like nothing pretty much.
Yeah, and me on the other hand, I'm looking over going, when did that turn up? And it's been a building that's been there for 20 years. I'm like, I've never seen this before, and this stuff and that. So it was quite nice not to have to drive. But the trip back was, I did see Bo doze off for a second.
Oh, he probably deserved it.
Oh, we're all knackered. Like, I'm knackered now. That was a 4:30 start, and we're still going. But it was nice. I think about halfway home, we kind of, conversation picked up quite a bit, and we were really rehashing the day. Yeah. But we found no faults in that particular event. Yeah.
The location, I quite liked it. Like, it was nice getting out of Auckland.
Oh, and the location, there were car parks. You know, like everyone got a car park.
Yeah.
We were 15 metres from the door.
You weren't stalemate sitting in the traffic.
Yeah, that was crazy. So that was good. Free car parking too. Like, high five to that.
Yeah.
And
Lakeside View,
yeah. And there was stuff going on, like the locals were humming around. Like when we went to the pub, there were people in there chilling, and so you know, everyone was really polite. It was just nice. I would certainly try and do it again.
Yeah, it sounds like it should be a regular now, right?
Yeah, that should be annual. So I did hit him up, and he said that this is Sam, and he said that he will do that annually, and I would make the effort to have that as an event that I go to.
Yeah, yeah.
Taranaki's a little bit out the way.
It is a bit, and I'd be wary of like the size of it. If the event centre in Taranaki is not as big as that, which I can't imagine it would be, or maybe it isn't.
I haven't been to.
Who knows? Maybe it's something we should just try anyway, and then.
It sounds like we're going to the Taranaki Collectibles Event.
We're not going to know, right? Unless we go. So.
Well, that's right. So I think we did the cruise back. It seemed a lot quicker than the cruise home. And by the time we hit the Bombays, Auckland was showing its true colours, and it was raining.
Yeah. And there was a lot of traffic.
So much traffic. But when we dropped Bo off, we did, hung out for him for a few minutes, and then...
Yeah, which was nice. It was a nice way to kind of end our little,
Escapade. Yeah. And then, really, from Bo's to out west, we were still 20 minutes away, and it was good to be back in the big smoke. It's always good to be back in the big smoke because we know where we are.
It's good to be able to reflect on today because of the, like you said, the socialness of the event and being able to catch up with so many people was, I think, what that was.
It's premium. Yeah, it was premium because you can catch up with all the store holders who people have travelled from Wellington, from Tikawiti, from everywhere. When you're in the Waikato and you're heading to Taupō, it's not that far.
Yeah.
So I would give that a solid 9 out of 10. I think.
Yeah, easily a big thumbs up. The way, just the whole organisation of it, which I know a lot of times we get to see stuff like that from the inside, right? But experiencing it as
that's a really good point. Normally we're setting up the tables and getting everyone moving and meeting everyone doing that, but I didn't think about that. Just walking in,
being a outsider into that was really nice.
Yeah, execution was really good. So I guess we're going to add that to our regular outings, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up with more people.
Make more friends, and that networking should.
Or convince other people that didn't go, who are really upset about the fact that it was so good, to actually come to the next one.
Yeah. And that can only be good for the event too, right? Growth is what they're looking for, and any way to be able to support that is good.
And we're obviously big supporters of good events like that.
For sure.
Yeah. So I guess that wraps up our day for the recap. Today's 28th of June. Almost the end of the month. And that was a huge day. I'm buggered.
I could do with some R&R.
Which you would have thought today was all R&R. But he was driving, so he's probably knackered too. Anyway, so I guess that's us.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll see you again.